But even after I am gone, Spira's sorrow will prevail.
Hello and welcome to the Masters mod. Last time we took out Seymour for the final time, and now we have our sights set on the finale to the story.
I don't have time for this!
Now, before the final fight, we do have a lot of fights and a lot of random encounters and a lot of chests along the way, which I will try to get through as fast as I can. But just remember, we have those walls that are cut off by 10 fiends and 10 fiends and 14 fiends. So we need to do at least 34 random battles. And for some reason, those walls they don't count very well. So bear with me. I'm not gonna fight fair on this one. Now, of course, the Behemoth Kings they're the biggest threat here. When it comes down to it, I'm just poisoning it and banking on Lulu's evasion to dodge a counterattack because it is immune to basically all ailments. So yeah, you just have to poison it and hope that you can outlast it. And then if you're in a good enough spot to survive the meteor even after it dies, then that's wonderful. For that, I'm just having Orin constantly guard. He's going to defend, he's not going to guard, he's not going to sentinel. He's just going to stand his ground and tank everything. Now with that, I'll give him auto life when I can, and I'll also give him shell and protect. So he just has all the HP, he can wall, and with Lulu poisoning and demmying down the king for all of his life, that should do the trick. Now the fights with the Iron Giants, the Mushrooms, and the Adamantoids, they are fights that we've had before in the last area. So, but the strategy with them is basically the same. It's put them to sleep or disable them, and just let the poison do the work, essentially. The Iron Giants are the one that have the most fight to them, because we actually do blind them and just slowly whittle them down as the fight goes on. But essentially, yeah, you want to make sure that the Mushrooms both die on the last turn. You make sure that the Iron Giants both have their life taken down at around the same rate. And you just want to make sure that the Adamantoid just doesn't get a turn. So putting him to sleep with poison is definitely all you need to do. Now, when I said I wasn't going to fight fair, I meant it. Now, these undead fiends, the Doom Wall, and the Ghost, yeah, they do a lot of counterattacks, and they are a hassle to deal with. But because I have my first strike weapon on Orin, I can slow him and threaten, and because we have Kamari, who's now very strong, or he's about as strong as Waka, which isn't that bad. He has a lot of good elemental coverage, so him and Titus can blitz these things down within one slow threatened Orin, especially if they're hasted.
Jacked! Show yourself!
Of course, the Malboro and the Barbatos are both very, very dangerous. And it turns out that one slow threatened Orin is not enough to finish them off. But it is pretty close, especially with the Malboro. I have a Berserk Proof on Lulu. So really, as long as her and someone else who has Sleep Proof are on the front line at that very end, then we can probably take it out after that first bad breath. The Barbatos, yeah, he does a little bit of setup, but his big cannon attack will completely party wipe. So in that case, poison him, because the poison will do all the damage that you need to carry the rest of the fight, other than that threaten. But then also having an armor break is super useful before the threat. And then also, if you're super paranoid like me, you can throw out an auto life against the Barbatos, because yeah, that usually the poison will do him in, but if he kind of does the party wipe, then yeah, at least you'll have somebody standing. That's the great thing about the mod with 0 XP on the random encounters, is you really don't have to worry about who's getting their turns and who's alive at the end. Just finish the fight and get to the boss. Just remember to keep that party line all set, especially Titus with the Brotherhood for the first strike, because if you get ambushed, then you could have a rough time. But that's what the overdrives are for, because remember that both Kimahri and Auron can just completely shut down an enemy, depending on which one it is. Some of them are immune, but in terms of this, it's a nice quick get out of jail free card for most things. Not only that, but Titus is on the front line a lot, so he gets his overdrive charged pretty good. So you can entrust his to either Kimahri or Auron, so that you can get even more spam launches. Then finally we can collect all the chests, including that 20,000 gil to use for after the story, which is great. Then the different spears are very great. I'm going to give them to Auron, so that way he's just a little bit faster, because now the Threaten, as wonderful as it was, it has kind of lived out its usefulness, because a lot of the higher bosses now will have Break Threaten. So him actually getting a turn would be nice. And then also Kimahri is now very close, so he'll be able to get those two, because we need to squeeze out as much damage as we can on the final story boss of Braska's final Aeon. The first time that I actually fought him, I saved until the end, and he still was a bit of a challenge. Now from this point on, remember, there is no saves, this is it. Everything that you get in the tower, and everything that I use now will not carry over to the rest of the game. So I'm going all out on the customization and everything that I do, because you need it, because this guy is pretty tough. Now the main thing for the equipment customizations that you should know is a lot of Jech's attacks are special, so they ignore defense and all that stuff. So really, for most of all the armor that I pick, I'm giving plus 30 HP, because really your defenses won't matter too much. Even Protect and Shell. At most, Protect is good for the sword swipe, but everything else, like, yeah, HP is great, because when it comes down to it, especially the phase change, yeah, you'll get hit for a lot of damage, and really HP tanking is the way to go. Not only that, but it's a race against time, so I really want to leverage my slow proof equipment, and then also stone proof, because stone will get rid of, or petrify will get rid of the haste, and it'll also petrify you, so you need to spend 2 turns, one on getting your person back and the second one on rehasting them. So that's definitely something that is a priority, is stone proof if you can. A lot of MP plus 30s I'm giving out too, because then you'd have to waste less time with ethers. I'm giving Lulu a lot of magic damage increases, because she is so useful. And then last but not least is Riku. Now for her, I am giving the Auto Phoenix, and in addition to that, the 30 HP and Auto Protect, because she has an alchemy weapon. I made her defense plus weapon alchemy as well, so she'll be able to revive everybody and survive most things. So again, this is all for just Braska's final Aeon fight, or the final story fight, because yeah, we don't save anything, so we might as well use it now. Now, as a final bit of prep for this fight, I made sure to teach Titus Armor Break, I taught Kimahri Sloga, and I taught Wakka Demi. Then here's the final equipment loadout. The only thing that I changed mid-fight is actually Titus's super nice shield that I made for him there, because for Yunalesca's drop, he got a Zombie Strike, and with him doing Zombie Strike, that's actually very useful. But for the beginning part of the fight, I definitely want to make sure that he has that protection. Now, I am sorry to say that during my winning attempt, the recording didn't actually save the audio, so it is a shame that you won't hear ReJechting going. But this is the footage I got. So, there are two major priorities in this fight. One is making sure that ReJechting is blind and silenced. Preferably, if you can only get one, you want to get blind. But the actual top priority is making sure that you get the pagodas, because you only get 2 get out of jail free cards when it comes to the overdrive. Once he gets that overdrive, he will just he will eject a member of the party. So you'll be down a party member for the rest of the fight, and that's really terrible. That's something that you really can't work with very well. So yeah, don't do that. Even when you have the Aeon shield summoned, which is great, it can do a lot of damage, it can last for a while, especially if it has poison, on ReJechting at least, to whittle down his HP. But he won't use his overdrive on the Aeon, so once it finally goes down, he'll still take out a party member after that. So just something to note. Take out the pagodas, because otherwise he'll get his overdrive very fast. Not only that, but since they cleanse his status ailments, if you don't let the pagodas get their turn to cleanse those ailments, then you won't have to spend turns reapplying them either. So, something to note. This fight is definitely a race. Now, in terms of turn economy, remember that Chocobo wings are a lot faster than Cascastiga. And in addition to that, we have double cast with both Lulu and Vodka. So being able to do a Demi first and then a third tier spell will do a lot of damage, because the Demi will do damage to everything, and then the big spell will do the last bit of damage that you need to the pagoda. But then if Lulu's turn is up, or you want to save her for, whenever the pagodas come back, which is what I do, I'll usually bench her until a pagoda's in there and then have her do her Demi and spell. So that way, not super overdrive the thing so it doesn't get all the life. But remember, spamming items is also very fast, especially on Yuna and Riku, because they are actually the fastest that we have in the party, in addition to using a fast item, or a fast action like using items. Then also their offensive items are probably stronger than a lot of the physical attackers, especially when it comes to DPS. And again, we are not saving after this, so we should just use them. But again, not only is it great for damage, but it is also good for ailments. So really, we can apply everything that we need to, except for zombie, when it comes down to the ailments on ReJechting. That job is solely for Titus and his zombie strike, which after he switches his armor to the more offensive one, you can get that at the same time as doing an armor break, so that's great. Another great item to think about is the Tetra Elementals, because they will, they'll dull a single elemental spell, and when he throws out his triple Firaga or triple Waterga, yeah, if you can just ignore that or prep for that, that's wonderful. Then auto life as needed, because again, yeah, phase 2 is where it really starts. Now, ReJechting opening phase 2 with the ultimate ReJechting shot is kinda nuts, because if you don't have that extra HP, then your party member is probably just going down, because again, I'm pretty sure it's special damage. I don't think that Protect and Shell really help out with that. And then since it's the very beginning, or the very first turn, you can't get any debuffs on him, so yeah. Not only that, but the ultimate ReJechting shot will give you a full break on all of your party members. That's mean. Then what's also is super mean is the sword swipe afterwards, because that can delay your people as well. Now that's what Riku's for, because she has her auto protect, and she also has her auto Phoenix. So it's actually a good thing that Lulu and Yuna both got knocked out by the sword, because that way they're not delayed by it. And so yeah, go figure. Especially since I can pop off that Lulu overdrive right off the start, because that way her turn was it wasn't coming for a long time anyways. Another thing to remember is that Jech's overdrive does not reset on the phase change, so yeah, definitely be aware of that. At least for me, I was able to spare one more talk, so I had one turn in the second phase where he could just get skipped. Then, as scary as Jech is, as long as he has that blind and silence on him, then all that you have to worry about is make sure that your people are at good enough HP and not armor broken to survive that sword. Because really the top priority is still the pagodas, as long as you have him all statused up. Because again, being proactive with the pagodas makes it so that they don't heal the ailments, which means you don't have to reapply the ailments, and that way you can just do more damage. Again, with him zombified, now we can chuck all the X potions at him. Phoenix downs don't work, so just know that. But yeah, all the X potions, very fast characters, very fast actions. Then just know that when his overdrive is about to come up, do not push him over into that overdrive unless you are prepared. If you have Yuna with her overdrive to counter with an Aeon, or at least stall out with an Aeon, or you have any more talks with Titus. Because yeah, losing a party member is such a big penalty. So yeah, you really can't afford that. Or a very important person like Riku or Lulu. Now, a delay attack could be a good get out of jail free card, but just know that if you do a delay attack, he'll counter with Meteor Strike, which is also a massive delay attack. So for that case, it might be better if whoever you have delaying is on low HP, so that way they just get knocked out and can get revived instead of having to deal with all the delay. But it's definitely not something that you want to bank on. It's really only a one and done. But of course, there's good and bad news with Threaten. So the pagodas can break Jech out of Threaten, but it's only the pagodas that can break Jech out of Threaten. So if you give Auron his turn, or his time in the limelight, and the pagodas are down, you can get a good amount of damage off for free. And now we have our final victory lap through the Aeons and Yevon. Now, of course, this is still a bit of a puzzle, but you do have auto life throughout the entire thing, so you really can't lose, which I appreciate, because that Jech fight, that's something. Now, one thing that is funny is, like I said, in my first playthrough, I saved Jech for last, so I had more Aeons to fight here, and they were their Dark Aeon version, so I get like completely destroyed by the Magus sisters, just taking my lunch money and all that. But again, it's funny because when the Aeons, or if you lost to the Aeons, then the fight still moves on anyways, which is kind of funny. But when it comes down to Yevon, of course you have to outdo its healing, and for this one really it's all about overdrives, because it'll give you an overdrive for the Gravija, but in terms of like doing damage and all that, you kind of need to you can either do like a Kamari thing to give it poison, a Riku thing to give it poison, or an Auron to get full break and then spam out all the damage. Lulu's overdrive is always good too, but when it gets to lower HP, it's diminishing returns. But again, you can't lose the fight. Nothing saves over to whatever file you're going for the post game, and then also the very, very nicely done, the Gravija will give a full overdrive to whoever gets hit by it, so you're not going to be soft locked out of, well, I can't do any damage to it because I don't have overdrive. So yeah, very, very well done. And yeah, that's the fight, that's the story. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you continue watching for the post game. And yeah, if you liked the video, I like your face. Thank you very much. Bye bye.